Yeah, listen, just a wee thought. I, as a woman, don't usually like women, right? Because I was always women that hurt me, always women that sort of stabbed me in the back, always women that were sort of ways that I didn't like. They were always, talking about each other. They were always giving off. They were always excluding. It was just all, I didn't really like it. So as I was growing up, tried to be independent, that I didn't need men. I could do everything myself. I could do over and above what men could do, all those different things. And I was listening to a lady the other day, and the Lord had said to her, "Why do you not like women?" And it was for the same reasons. And she said, the Lord said, "I love women. I made women. Get to like women." So I've been thinking about this last few days, and thinking about roles, and thinking about the fact that when God made us, he made us all male, female in his image. And I know man was made first, woman was made next to be a companion. But I was looking at what that meant, and we're there to help, we're there to complement, we're there to do the things that maybe men can't do. Men are there to protect, women are there to build a home, they bring the love, all the different things. So I've been thinking about that, and thinking about my life, and thinking about how stressed I've been, how I've tried to be both male and female. I've tried to be wife and husband in the house, and I've been almost robbing my own husband of his ability, because if you treat a man like you're his mother, if you act like his mother, he's going to behave like your son. So I have had to actually sit and go through all this, and I was thinking about Adam and Eve, and I was going, through Eve, sin came into the world. I know it says through Adam, but the woman was the one who was deceived. Then through a woman, Jesus chose to come into the world as a baby through a woman, and a woman brought salvation into the world in a way, as in, obviously it's not her that saves, but Jesus came into the world through a woman. And I was sitting thinking about that, going, goodness, God, you really do love women. Because for you to do that, for you to choose that. But I was thinking about Eve, going, her thing was, she was being talked to by a serpent. And unless in those days animals could speak, that maybe should have freaked her out. Rather than her deciding, oh yes, I can do this on my own, maybe if she had have actually stepped up and says to her husband, and called her husband and said to her husband, and then maybe he would, as they complement each other and they would talk to each other, he probably would have went no. But because she had almost stepped into that role of, I'm going to make this big decision on my own, and the husband, he just went along with it. And when I look at that as in, how does that relate to today? And is that not what happens? That we have men who are to protect, who are to look after the family, who are to bring all the different things that they're to bring in their role that God tells them to be. And they don't do it. And they leave it up to their wives. And their wives, bless them, are running about, and they're being husband, they're being wife, they're working full time, they're looking after the house, they're looking after the kids, they're trying to get the husband to do things, they're constantly at him, would you do this, would you do that, I need you to do this, and the husband sitting, goodness sake, she's nagging again. And it's not the women's fault. Well, it is whenever they treat them like a son, but men need to step up to the plate too. We have roles as men and women. And women, I believe, like me, as just thought, I can do everything. I don't need a man. And that's not how God designed us to be. He wanted us to be gentle. He wanted us to be full of love. I was sitting this morning with the Lord, and I just felt as if he was saying, why do you need to fight? Why do you need to be strong? Why do you need to be almost aggressive? Why do you need to prove that you can do the things as much as a man does? He says, because that's not Jesus. Jesus was gentle. Jesus stood and he was absolutely tortured. He was pulled apart. He was mocked. He was everything they done to him. He done that out of love. He didn't fight back, and he could have, but he didn't. So we as women, when we're fighting and we're arguing, and let's be honest, when the devil said, or when the Lord said in the beginning in the garden that he would put enmity between the woman and Satan, that meant enmity means that it's a growing hatred. It's a growing thing. It's going to get worse. It's going to get bigger. And is that not what's happening at the minute, that women are being eroded? Women are being, that they're taking on more and more masculine roles. They're taking on more, saying we can do this. And I'm not saying be a weak woman and don't be independent. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying men have a role in our lives. We have to actually allow them to be men. We have to allow them to be husbands and stop trying to take on those roles. Stop trying to be man and woman. Be yourself. And that is, when you look at that, then you're allowing that to happen. You won't be as stressed because you're not taking on both roles. And men, they have to step up to the plate, because the Lord says in his word that they're going to be judged more, and we as women have to respect them for the effect of what they are taking on. They're the ones that are going to be judged. They're the ones that are going to be held to account if they don't step up to the plate. But we don't allow them to step up to the plate because we think we can do it all anyhow. So we need to allow them to do what they need to do, and we need to do what we need to do. So, you know, if enmity is growing between us and Satan, that means Satan hates us. And that's probably because we do bring life into the world, because we do carry children, we bear children, we are the love in the house, we do so much, you know, so that's why we get attacked. So hopefully that encourages you, you know. And I don't know, it's just been a revelation to me. So, you know, I've been walking about struggling, carrying all the roles in the house. And that doesn't mean I'm not getting at my husband saying that he does nothing, but I haven't allowed him to. So I have been doing all the things, and he's been happy enough to sit back. As I would say to people, if I had Jamie Oliver came to my house and said, right, Lorraine, I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to go and buy all the ingredients. You're never going to have to step into the kitchen again. I'm going to do all that. I'd let him. I really would. But that's not going to teach me anything. That's not going to empower me, that if he has a day off or he's ill, I won't know how to go into the kitchen and do that. So I think that's what I'm saying about in our roles in a family. If we don't allow our husbands to step up to the plate and be husbands, and if they don't want to do that, you know, the Lord's going to judge them for that. But we need to actually allow them to be husbands. And we need to allow ourselves to be wives and not think, oh, I'm relying on him. And we need to actually humble ourselves before the Lord and actually be who the Lord said we have to be, and allow them to be. So as I say, hopefully that encourages. You know, if it makes sense, if it doesn't, that's okay. It's just a thought I had today. All right. Listen, God bless you all. Have a lovely, lovely, blessed day. God bless. Bye.